Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility based detailing. Welcome to another wax review. This one is for Waxtub's Raspberry 141. It's a fantastic wax due to launch very soon. It's going to launch in January. I'm going to go through why you should buy it, but first, bit of admin. Car in question, it needed a thorough clean. I've never cleaned this one before, so it was washed, it was decontaminated, it was clayed, and it was dried with this drying towel here, which is from Into Detailing. It's my new favourite. So the paintwork was clean. That's very important. I say to you guys, prep is important, and especially so with a wax, you're going to get the best finish applying it onto clean paint. Ideally, better quality paint, but beggars can't be choosers in this case. So the product from Waxtub, really well presented. I love the presentation. I mentioned that in my unboxing video. It's very eye-catching. It's going to stand out on the shelf. That part I really liked. But getting on to the actual product itself, the 141 part, that's the number of versions this has gone through in development. For those that don't know, Waxtub, it is literally a one-man band. It's a guy called Paul, nice guy. You can reach out, talk to him. He's very passionate about what he's doing. He created different versions of this really to just refine out the bits that he wanted. One of the main things that he was after was ease of use, and that shows through. This was a breeze to use, and I mean that in all stages. The wax had a lovely texture, it was really soft, oiled up nicely, which meant that loading the applicator was a breeze. And then forward from that, getting a nice thin layer on the paint was very straightforward. For those new to waxing, you want a thin layer. You're not trying to replaster, you're just trying to get some wax onto the paint. Be thorough in your coverage. You don't want anything that you've missed, you don't want patchy areas. But remember, the very thin layer of this is going to cure, so you're not trying to overlayer it. In terms of cure time, I had around about an 8-degree temperature on the day of question. So I gave it about 15 minutes. So I give it adequate cure time. Equally, it gives me enough time to have a leisurely cup of tea. Came out, gave it a courtesy wipe with both a Wowo and a CarPro boa. As you guys know that watch my channel, those tend to be the towels I use, and it came off a dream with the CarPro boa, so that was towel of choice. The thing that stood out immediately, the finish was there. It was a really warm finish. For those that wax anyway, they know what I mean by this. But if you're new to waxing, again, waxes bring a warmth. They bring a certain glow to a paint that sealants struggle with. And this had that. It gave a nice warm finish that had depth, that had gloss, and it's one that I really liked. The one thing I did find, I always try and do 2 coats where I can, and the winter's been kicking my ass for that, just with the days being a lot shorter. But I had time for coat 2, so I gave it a fair amount of time, about 40 minutes. Enough time basically to set the camera up and point it at the moon, as you're going to see in a second. But I got a second layer laid down, gave that a good 15 minutes to cure again. And for me, and this is the advice I'd give to you when you buy some, and you should buy some, is this thing needs coat number 2. Coat number 1 was great. Coat number 2, this wax just came alive. The depth was just so much more ramped up. The glossiness was ramped up. Everything about this, the qualities it brought to the table, it brought them full bore on coat 2. So when you do use it, that's what you're going to want to do. From me, it's my recommendation. It's important to get a second coat. The other bits and bobs, you guys know I'm going to test water behavior and so on. That was there in spades. It beaded up well, it sheeted off well. So all round, big ticks on this. This is, as the video goes, you're going to cycle through the water behavior. And you guys don't need me to describe beading. You know what it looks like. I'm going to tell you about the other bits and bobs. Like I said to you, it's going to launch very soon. I'm going to put the links below to where you can go to see Waxtub on Instagram, Facebook, and they are a sponsor on Detailing World. So get over on there if not already, and you can stay up to date with what they're doing. But they're going to be launching very soon. They're going to have launch offers, so keep an eye for when they launch, because these launch offers are going to be limited in volume, but they are going to be sharp. Pricing wise, Paul has said to me he's not 100% pinned down, and I think he's just being coy when he tells me that. Maybe he doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag, but he's given me a bit of a guide. So I'm going to be a little bit vague when I say this, but the 100ml pots around about 30-ish quid. But they're going to do a 200ml version of this in a glass jar that is going to be sub 50, and that is exciting for a wax of this quality, of this finish, of this nature in glass jar. It's a premium product essentially in a premium presentation to be below that 50 quid mark, I think is a great price point, and it is one that's worth having. So when it comes out, get it in your collection. Keep an eye out for what they're doing for when they do launch. I don't know when that will be, so that's all I can really tell you, is to get on board with them now so that you know. And then as 2017 goes, they're going to be bringing new products to the fore. So, you know, you may as well be on board early. It's an excuse to spend money, and I say it time and time again, blame me. So yeah, do. Other than that, I want to thank you for coming along to another review. If you can like, comment, subscribe, if you want to share this on Facebook, wherever, I'm always very grateful of that, and check back for future reviews. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.